Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Coffee and Football presented by the good folks at BKCW. I'm your host, Blake Monroe, where I'm joined each and every morning by Bobby Burton and Jerry Hamilton. You still got the shades on, got the gooders as Texas ranked number one.
At least for one more day.
That's right. I was about to say, and speaking of number one, we're just one day away from kickoff. So tell us who your favorite number one is, and there's quite a few good number ones to pick from as well. Also, be sure to tell us where you're checking in from. What you're drinking, get your questions in. And guys, as I said, we're a day away. Everything's lining up. But one thing I did want to start off with this morning, we talked about the line yesterday. There's been some movement as of last night. Circa Sports now has Texas as a 1-point favorite due to somebody putting in a $550,000 bet.
Wow. I mean, I hadn't seen Phil Mickelson make a birdie on the golf course in a while, so it's good to know he's still around.
I was going to say Charles Barkley, but you may be right with Phil Mickelson. Hey,
that live money, baby. That live money.
Yeah. I think actually I haven't moved since yesterday. I've just sat here and watched the stadium, make sure. And no, I'm kidding. I had spent some time in Columbus yesterday, meeting with some old friends of mine. Good time here. I'm back here. Behind me is Ohio Stadium. It's a little foggy here this morning, guys. A little foggy on the banks of the Olentangy, I guess is the name of the river that runs through the city here. I would say that the vibe in Columbus right now is one of cautious optimism for them. They are coming off of a national championship, and I spoke with a number of different people yesterday. And look, they're ready to see what's next for the Buckeyes, because you got to remember 2 years ago they didn't really have a very good quarterback. Then this year they had Kyle McCord, but it wasn't exactly great. They switched to Will Howard. Now, just like we keep saying, well, is this the Arch Manning era that's going to debut? In Columbus, it may be the Julian Sayin era that is debuting, and so they're cautiously optimistic about a top-ranked quarterback from the state of California coming in, lead the Buckeyes. But by and large, guys, it is a city that's very vocal right now. I've seen a lot of red out and about. I also saw some folks walking in Burnt Orange, walking the river this morning as well. So a lot of fun here in Columbus right now.
Good stuff. And yes, the weather report for tomorrow. High 75. This was as of a couple minutes ago. I pulled it. It says good weather for the game and tailgating. So, it's going to be nice.
UV still high, 7.0. Higher than the 5.0, baby. That's more than the old 5.0. It's a 7.0. So take your sunscreen.
I mentioned all of that stuff, guys. Also down to my left, Big Noon kickoff is set up or getting set up. The game day set. The final episode with Lee Corso is getting set up down to the left.
He flew commercial, by the way. Did y'all see that video?
Which one?
There's a video somebody posted on ontexasfootball.com. Lee Corso is flying commercial on Southwest to Columbus, man. I didn't know he flew commercial all these years. He couldn't have flown commercial all the time.
That is part of Lee Corso's appeal. He is a man of the people.
He is a genuine guy. He's a genuine guy.
Yeah, there you go. You got to be if you coach Indiana to like 25 losses out of 30 Big Ten games.
I didn't know. Like Justin Crawford said, he always flies commercial. I did not know that because I know a lot of the other guys do not.
Oh, they don't. No. They're all wheels up, private jet type stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Well, before we really get into it this morning, Bobby, I want you to tell everyone how they can escape the insurance trap.
Yeah, if you and your business are frustrated with insurance or employee benefits renewal, and you don't hear from your agent all year, and then right before it's time to renew, your agent delivers the bad news of a rate increase. That is what we call the insurance trap at BKCW. They aim to take you out of that insurance trap by providing you with actual risk management consulting for you and your business, not just price quoting. Operating out of its headquarters in Austin and owned by a UT grad, BKCW uses a 5-step process to identify your business's weak spots, design a plan, execute it, and monitor your situation throughout the year so that you can lower your insurance costs while effectively managing your company's risk. BKCW has already helped some of the most well-known companies in the Austin and greater Austin area, from construction companies, restaurant groups, breweries, and nonprofits, all in Central Texas. They have escaped the insurance trap. It starts with a free risk assessment for you and your business. Go to bkcw.com or send an email to info@bkcw.com to get started with a free risk assessment or claims audit and escape the insurance trap. Thank you to BKCW for their sponsorship of On Texas Football.
Well, I want to jump right into this. We got a big old super chat here from
Marcus has arrived, by the way.
Yeah, he says good morning from Columbus.
I'm not prepared again today.
I know you're slacking, man. What's the deal, Matty M? We thank you though. Even though Jerry doesn't have the lampshade, he does have the joy mode.
Yeah, that'll make you happy.
Appreciate that. But Matty M says, "Good morning, OTF crew, and a huge thanks for getting us through the football desert. Best dang Horton show, no doubt. Happy early birthday, Bobby. Wingo days to go. Need a new jersey. Mine has number 5. It's showtime. Deep shot in the first 10 plays. Hook 'em for life."
You definitely listened to Rod's and I's video yesterday on the scripts. I'm going deep shot. I'm going medium shot. I'm going to go a little corner route to DeAndre Moore in the first drive if he can. If he gets the look he wants.
Maddie, thank you for the early birthday wishes. Appreciate it greatly. No doubt. I would also say this. I would like nothing more than a win tomorrow for the Longhorns. As it relates to number 1, don't forget, yes, Ryan Wingo has changed his number, but so has Colin Simmons. Simmons now going to be wearing number 1 this year, not his number 11 last year that he wore. Should be an interesting day. A lot of new numbers in this situation, guys, for the Longhorns this year, changing Jelani McDonald, moving from 25 to 4. Trey Wisner now is number 5. A lot of interesting number changes. You'll figure that out, or you can look on ontexasfootball.com. We've got a list of those guys as well and their new numbers.
Here's an interesting question real quick. Zane Petty, is Jordan Hicks the best Horn from Ohio? He's definitely the highest rated one out of high school.
Well, there was a running back named AJ Jam Jones. He was from Jamestown, Ohio. He was a fairly early round draft pick of the New York Jets, rushed for over 1,000 yards a couple times in the NFL. But that was back in the late 70s, early 80s, I believe.
Yeah. So that's, Hicks was a top 10 guy in the country in that class. So
I think Jones, and now obviously recruiting was different back at that time, but he was certainly a highly, highly recruited guy.
Yep. All right, well, our first special guest of the day is here, Coach Brian Irwin. Coach, how's it going this morning?
Great. How you guys doing? Good morning.
Hey, Brian is with us in Ohio right now. He got in last night in Columbus. He's going to join us out at Gresso's this afternoon for the happy hour that we're having from 4 to 7 out there. Brian, I got to ask you, what was your vibe coming into the airport? You flew in. A lot of Longhorns on that flight?
A lot of Longhorns, but there are a lot of Ohio State fans as well. I guess they're living in Texas, making a living and heading back up there to the game. So yeah, there were a lot of fans, Ohio State and Texas on the plane. Unfortunately, we were on that plane way, way, way too long. I got on the plane at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I landed in Columbus at about 1:30 in the morning.
Ooh,
it was a nightmare.
Wow.
You wish John Lane went that far.
Oh man.
Hey,
but all is good. We're here.
Brian,
Coach, I wanted to ask you real quick. Ryan Day, and I hadn't had a chance to talk to you. Ryan Day came out in his press conference, said if we don't run the ball and stop the run, we'll lose. Just his thoughts on your comments on that. And I don't think that was coach speak. I actually think he believes that because I think he's telling his team we have to be the most physical team on the field Saturday at 11 a.m.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that. I didn't see that comment, but Bobby and I and Coach Shipley, with our lunch with the coach, that was our first thought process. Both I and Coach Shipley we've got to be able to run the ball, we got to be able to stop the run, and the physicality factor that we may not be able to put some statistics to, but the physicality factor is going to be huge. We walked away from that game last year knowing that they were the most physical football team. I could admit that. I think we all should probably be able to admit that. I had that conversation this morning with an Ohio State fan here at the hotel, and now it's going to come down to, can we make that progress and make that leap to becoming a more physical football team? And certainly being able to run the ball and stop the run is the first indicator of that.
Brian, you look at this, and Texas and Ohio State starting brand new quarterbacks. You're a two-time state-winning high school football coach, and you've started new quarterbacks every couple of years yourself. Mm-hmm. What's it like, kind of grooming these guys and getting them ready for a big game out of the chute like they're going to have tomorrow?
I think just knowing, their skill set, knowing what they do well, let them do what they do well, and just play to that, whether it's mentally and their mental capabilities, and then also physically. Put them in a position to be successful, and let them do what they do. So we know Arch's skill set is a little bit different than Quinn's in a lot of ways, hopefully better in certain aspects. I watched that game a handful of times from last year, especially when I decided I don't want to sleep well that night. I rewatched the game, and especially when we got the ball first and goal on the 1 down 7. So just a little self-inflicted misery there. But one thing I noticed, I think Arch is going to be really good at that Quinn wasn't, especially that was just pocket presence, pocket strength, and be able to move in that pocket and escape the rush, make some plays off schedule, and instead of taking a 4 or 5 yard sack, he gets back to the line of scrimmage, or he gets 2 yards, or he gets 20 yards, but just having more strength in the pocket as a body, because too many times Quinn was a little bit light in the pocket and wasn't as strong. So I'm looking for Arch to be strong in the pocket, and then when it's time for him to use his feet, go make plays off schedule, and that's demoralizing for a defense. The defense just played the play, and they defended the play the way that they needed to defend it, and then the quarterback just completely takes it off schedule. They've got a great pass rush, they've got great coverage, and all of a sudden he tucks it down and makes a great play off schedule.
Coach, I'm looking at it right now, and I'm back here. You're in Columbus. You didn't get a chance to come out to the stadium today, but this city reminds me a little bit of Austin, kind of a metropolitan area, but also at the same time a university city. It's going to be interesting because I think these are two very similar programs in a lot of ways, a lot of storied tradition between them, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how two heavyweights go to battle tomorrow. In your version of events, how do you kind of see this game playing out?
My best guess, because it's strictly a guess, but I think both teams will be overall conservative. In the first quarter, first half. Yeah, there'll be some shots. We'll take some shots. They're going to take some shots. There's no doubt about it. Ryan Wingo's got to be huge for us. He again, I watched that game many times from last year, and Ryan Wingo was, if not the first, definitely the second best player on the field, and maybe behind their guy Jeremiah Smith. But Ryan Wingo is a difference maker. He's got to have a big game. So we're going to take our shots, and we're not just going to be smash mouth and plain Jane vanilla. But I think we'll both be fairly conservative, more of a jab approach early on, feeling each other out, trying to figure things out. Because bottom line is, no one wants to screw it up in the beginning. Don't screw it up. Don't turn the ball over. Don't get a punt blocked. Don't muff a punt. Just don't screw it up. Get the game to the second half, and then let's go. Let the fighters fight in the second half, and go get after it and get it done, and see who the most physical football team as this thing goes on. So you got to don't screw it up mentality, honestly, early on, because Mike Brown always said, you don't go win the first game, you just don't go lose the first game. Just don't do what you can do to lose the game. Don't do the things that will cost you to lose the game. Just play fundamentally sound, take care of the football, don't screw it up early, and let's get this thing in the second half and go be the most physical football team in the second half.
Hey, Coach, I haven't had a chance to ask you this either. So Matt Patricia comes in as the DC to Ohio State, but he doesn't get to hire any of his own guys on staff, right? He just walks in as the DC. So it's a unique situation for him, but kind of how difficult, how tough is that for a D coordinator when they come in and they don't really have their guys in place, but they're trying to build a defense and not change a system, but install what they want to without any of their guys who have ever done their installation before.
That's a great point, Jerry. That's tough. It doesn't usually happen at this level anymore. Guys that come in as a prominent defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, they usually get to bring, a couple of guys with them that know their system. If it's an offensive guy, then maybe it's an offensive line coach. If it's a defensive guy, maybe it's a secondary coach. So I think it's going to be a big factor in this. And, everybody talks about how the surprise factor may be an advantage for Ohio State, but I don't see it that way. They've got to be behind in their scheme. They got to be behind in their system compared to our guys who have been in the same scheme, same system, same coaches overall, same coordinators, for the last 4 or 5 years. So I see that as an advantage for us. Yeah, we've had to chase some ghosts with on both sides of the ball. You got to chase those ghosts from years past to see what Patricia might do or Harline might do. But most part, you're not chasing many ghosts because it's still going to come down to playing fundamentally sound football. There's 11 guys going on the field. I said this the other day. Matt Patricia is going to line up 3-4 or the 4-3 or the 4-2-5. They only got 11.
Yeah.
Okay. They're only going to play with 11. And so I don't really care where he puts them. We know how to handle it. We know how to block it up. We know how to protect it. There's only 3 or 4 coverages they can run. And so Sark knows how to deal with that.
All right, Coach. It's time for the great reveal here. We ask everybody their prediction of the game tomorrow.
I just hate these things, man. They've been doing this too long. They hate predictions.
Yeah, hate them. But I'm going to go with what I said on Lunch with the Coach. I got to stick with it. Be consistent. I think it's going to be a conservative approach early on. I think it'll be similar to last year's game in the semifinal. I'm going to say Texas 24, Ohio State 17.
Oh, for the good guys.
There you go.
Good guys.
Coach,
Good guys.
later this afternoon, man. We appreciate you joining us. You have a good time, dude. Hook 'em.
You bet, Hook 'em.
Coach, thank you.
See you over
All right, thank you, guys.
Be good. Coach, going to be joining us each and every Friday this year. Happy to have him with a little bit of an expanded role here on Texas football. We will have him obviously on every Monday with a Lunch with the Coach alongside Coach Bob Shipley and myself. Brian Irwin, former 2-time state championship head football coach at Lamarck High School.
There you go. All right, guys, we got some more super chats. Of course, we're going to take y'all's questions. Also, say happy birthday to Jeff Carey. He said it's his birthday, so Jeff tunes in just about every morning. So appreciate that, Jeff, and hope you have a happy birthday. And let's see here. He also said he put in a super chat, so thank you for your super chat. 29 days, no mute streak.
That's wow.
Yeah, almost 30. Going to be 30 at the end of the show. 100,000 new subs. Is that a coincidence? I think not, Jeff. I think not.
Good job,
tuning in.
Good job, Blake.
Want me to get to 30. Buddy Pal, Chief Big Guy with super chat. 23-10 Texas. He says it'll be 13-3 at halftime. Texas being up 2 scores puts pressure on Sayin, and Texas is able to control the dynamic of the second half.
I'm up for that. Only negative of that, and this is something to consider, is that 13 score or even the 23 score means Texas hit 3 field goals in the end. And that means red zone woes kind of continue a little bit for Steve Sarkisian. I think one of the keys to this game that we haven't talked about enough is Texas needs to score touchdowns, not field goals in 2025.
I think the winner of this game is going to score 3 touchdowns. How they get to the 3 touchdowns, we'll see. I don't think 2 touchdowns is going to win this game. Somebody's going to have to score 3 in this game, whether that's a punt return, kick return, pick 6, strip sack, recovery for 6, whatever that is, scooping scores. Somebody's going to have to score 3 touchdowns in this game. I don't think 2 touchdowns is going to do it.
And then we have.
Hey, wait a minute. Time out.
What you got?
There's Bobby Petronic with with the quote of the day. I'll take field goals in the red zone versus missed field goals. Eventually, the dam breaks. Yes, we agree with that. By the way, this is a good point. Sark had a brief press availability yesterday afternoon. He was asked point blank, guys, about his depth chart, and even asked about the depth chart at kicker. He refused to give any information about the depth chart, although we do believe, based on what CJ Vogel's reporting it on Texas Football, Mason Shipley, this transfer from Texas State, has won that job. He is going to be number, was he 45, I think, this year? Well, it's going to be his number on the field, but he will be he apparently has won the field goal kicking job, and Will Stone will be your kickoff specialist again.
And look, what's interesting, I think Mason Shipley and Bert Auburn had 2 good years before last year, right? Yep. And I think Mason Shipley's an upgrade in terms of consistency of career. What'll be interesting for Mason Shipley is, could you imagine a 21-21 game and he's out there with a 41-yarder to win the game, his first ever field goal attempt at Texas? It's a lot different than kicking at Texas State. I think he'll handle it. But there's a scenario out there that's different than anything he's ever faced in his career. But that's why he wanted to come to Texas.
Jose here with Super Chat. Thank you, Jose. He says, feels like Texas gets to stay in early and rattles him. He has Texas winning 20-13 and says, thanks for all you guys do.
So yeah.
Love it. That goes against what Jerry's saying with the 3 touchdowns, though. One of the consistent comments that I hear, not just from us, but from other people that have prognosticated this game, is the continued thought that this is going to be a low-scoring or relatively low-scoring affair. The over-under in Vegas is set at 47.5. We were collecting predictions from all our staff members last night. Do you realize there's not a single person of our 13 different people that contribute to On Texas Football from a staff perspective that have the over hitting? 13.
Yeah. Wow.
So actually there is one, but we'll leave him out of it. But there's one that has the over.
The interesting thing about this game is, look, I don't think if the over hits, I think it's going to be a pick six, a return. I don't think these teams are going to drive the field on each other and score that many points and punch the ball into the end zone that much, both teams. I mean, I just don't see that in this game. I could, the pick six, the return, something get you over that number. Potentially, it's a game. I just don't see, and Ryan Day kind of hinted that too yesterday in his press conference, with more limited possessions nowadays in college football. I don't see either of these defenses just getting walked up and down and driven up and down the field over a course of a game where both teams are scoring 4 touchdowns in this game. I just don't see it, or 7 touchdowns total. I'd be surprised if those are just drives and touchdown scores. I think it's going to have to be out of the norm.
The one thing that I would add to that, Jerry, is something we had Bobby Carpenter, the former linebacker for Ohio State, Dallas Cowboy first-round pick. He was on the show on Wednesday, and something he said, knowing that he knows the mindset of the Ohio State team, something he said is, look, now where it's a 16, 17 games schedule for teams like Ohio State or Texas that have aspirations to win a national championship, you want less plays because then I mean, the chance for injury it rises exponentially with every single extra 10 plays. And so I think that's part of it from these guys too. And I think Sark is leaning into that a little bit, maybe more than he did at the outset of his time at Texas as well.
Yeah, that's will be interesting to see. Like I said this on a show earlier in the week, Texas averaged 72.8 plays per game last year, and Ohio State I think was at 61, right around 60 point something or 61. That's a pretty big difference in plays per game. Now, was some of it because Ohio State had some big plays on offense? Potentially. But I think it was also the style of play. And to Bobby Carpenter's point, if Ohio State averaged 61 plays a game this year, I think they'd take that and go to the house because that means they were playing their style and things were going their way with the style they want to play. That's going to be interesting to look at how many plays each team has in this game, because I do think it will tell you a little bit about how the game goes.
Hey, something else that's interesting, Jerry, is when you tell us about Chubbies. I need you to do that, please.
Yeah, it's who's got their Chubbies this morning. I think the Cowboys fans might have thrown their Cowboys Chubbies away, but maybe you get your Packers Chubbies on now. Are you ready for some football? If you're not, Chubbies is here to help you with their NFL collection. Whether you're tailgating, grilling, or riding the thighs and lows of the game from your couch, Chubbies has the officially licensed NFL gear to keep you looking like the ultimate fanatic. With bold designs featuring your favorite NFL teams, Chubbies game day gear isn't just comfortable, it's a statement, a bold statement. Rep your team's logos in wild, comfortably polos, wave-making swim trunks, gym-ready mesh shorts. Yep, you heard it right, swim trunks with your favorite NFL team's logo on them. All the comfort and swagger you need to take on every touchdown dance. I don't want to see all those. Chest bump. People get injured doing that. They're on ridiculousness. Or dramatic fourth quarter meltdowns, which always are the greatest on social media. If you're not a jersey guy, this is an elite, and I love the word alternative. If you're a jersey fanatic, something tells me you'll love their NFL collection, because when you're invested in the game, your outfit should be too. For a limited time, our exclusive code on Texas. Use that code for $10 off at chubbiesshorts.com/on Texas. Yes, that includes the NFL collection. Let the thighs out, let the good time roll. And as somebody in the chat said earlier this week, the thighs of Texas are upon you.
Oh, thank you, Jerry. And I also need to tell everyone about Prize Picks this morning, because we make decisions every day. But on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. And with football now here, it's time to make that money. And Prize Picks is simple to play. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get it right, you can cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money. It's the best way to get in on sports action in more than 40 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and right here in the Lone Star State. And Prize Picks has the NFL, but they have college football as well. This weekend, I'm taking Trey Wisner to score a touchdown, DeAndre Moore to have more than 19.5 receiving yards, and Julian Sayin to throw an interception. So come join me on those picks, or make your own in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code ONTEXAS. You're going to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code ONTEXAS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. And that's Prize Picks. Run your game. There we go. All right, let's see more super chats to jump into, fellas. D Herring 5, thank you for yours. Who scores for the Horns tomorrow? Well, I just told you one of my picks, Trey Wisner. But guys, who y'all got?
If I could pick 3 guys that score for Texas tomorrow, and what it would mean in the game, it would be Ryan Wingo, DeAndre Moore, and either Wisner or Baxter. If 3 of those guys score touchdowns Saturday, I think it's a good day for the Horns. You're muted, Bobby.
You're muted.
Streak's over.
My streak is over. I don't have a streak.
Streak's over. Don't go streaking though.
Yeah, well, that may scare some people away. That may reduce the capacity of this stadium from 110,000 to about 5. I thought about this a little bit last night. Who made a surprising score, in y'all's opinion, last year against Michigan? Wasn't it Gunnar Helm?
The back of the end zone?
Yeah. So how about Jack Indries for me?
That would be a good one.
Yeah, for a surprise score. I'll go with the Texas tight end transfer from Cal.
There we go. All right, let's see here. Terrence Jones says, hey, Jerry, which high school game are you going to tonight? And did you watch Lancaster blow that game against North Crowley last night?
I did not. I went and watched Kosio Paul a little bit last night. 6'2", 228, 229 right now. They played Fort Bend Travis. Not really a strong competition game. Travis won 16-15, I believe it was, 17-16. But I watched a little bit of Kosio Paul tonight. And I have not decided where I'm going tonight. I may not go anywhere tonight because tomorrow is going to be a really long day. We'll see. But watched Kosio Paul yesterday. Got one of the Texas commits out of the way. Got a little video of him warming up yesterday. Maybe, potentially.
I can get it working. There we go.
Yeah, that's Kosi Okpala. Yesterday, they're playing at Hall Stadium down in Missouri City, right by Hightower High School. So Kosi Okpala about 12 pounds heavier than he was a year ago. Frame very similar to Trey Moore, I think, long term. 6'2" in change, 245, 250. Similar arm length to Trey Moore. I think that's going to be what his frame really looks like in 2 or 3 years.
Jerry, you mentioned Trey Moore. Does he have that kind of play strength, in your opinion? Where, I mean, Trey Moore is not this physically imposing looking guy.
Yeah.
But he makes a hell of a lot of plays.
Yeah, I think Kosi has that aggression and physicality to him. I do. And he's got really quick feet. He's got really quick hands. Again, he really wasn't challenged last night. That wasn't a great game to see him, but I was just looking at the schedule, and that one fit well for what I'm looking at later in the season if I want to try to see all these guys. So I went to see Kosi last night. Again, he didn't really go up against an elite offensive line prospect or anything like that, but you saw the quick hands, you saw the quick feet. He had a couple of quarterback hurries in the first 3 series of the game, played a little running back, and when they went to the wishbone but didn't carry, it was more of a blocker. But he's got the feet, he's got the quick hands. I think he's got the play strength and physicality, and we'll see where it all goes for him. He played more off the ball prior in his career. This year, he's playing more just off the edge with the new, with the change in the staff there. But I'm not sure. I'm not saying he's just an edge player. I see him very similar to Trey Moore. I think he can play more of that weak side linebacker position off the ball that Trey Moore is going to do some this year. But he's playing more exclusively edge this year for Langham Creek or for May Creek because I think they want him to be more of a disruptor on a play-in, play-out basis.
I want to reset things a little bit for you guys right now. I'm outside Ohio Stadium. Down to my left, the Fox Big Noon kickoff, as well as ESPN Game Day. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but the bugler for Ohio State has been practicing for the last 25 minutes. That's why I've been putting myself on mute every so often as well. But it is about 62 degrees right now in Columbus with a slight breeze. It was a foggy morning here, but that has since broke. There is going to be some light showers later today, but there are none expected for tomorrow for this game against Ohio State.
Blake, I want to do this if we can. Any games last night stand out? In a complete shocker, Boise State lost without the best player that's ever worn the uniform.
But Jerry, they lost the USF.
I just want to say this. I can't believe people had them picked to go to the playoffs this year again as a G5. They lost the best player that ever had in their program.
Look,
there was no chance.
But they lost to South Florida and they got blown out. So that was the big surprise for me personally. It wasn't that, and I want to say this the right way. It wasn't that Boise State lost or that even South Florida made it tight. I mean, they got blown out. Boise State does not get blown out. It doesn't matter who they play.
And the crazy thing about that game was they put the ball on the turf. They actually outgained South Florida in that game and lost 34-7. They had more yards than South Florida did in that game last night, but they had 4 fumbles, 3 loss, both running backs with a fumbled loss and the quarterback with a fumbled loss in that game. They outgained South Florida and lost by 27. That's hard to do. Nebraska, they need a great schedule. They need an easy schedule because I thought they were okay last night. I'm not a big Dylan Raiola guy. The guy drops the ball to his waist or below his waist on every pass attempt he makes still. So all these quarterback gurus out here that are talking all this noise, I mean, y'all should be helping these guys, not just claiming you train these guys. The fact that Dylan Raiola still drops the ball to his waist or 2 inches below his waist at 20, 21 years old is criminal. It's not good.
Yeah. It was a surprisingly low offensive output for a Nebraska team that has Dana Holgorsen now as the offensive coordinator, the former head coach at Houston as well as West Virginia, and an air raid type guy. Only scored 20 points in a game with a quarterback as ballyhooed as Dylan Raiola. The Big Ten beat up on the MAC yesterday, but it did it in the normal Big Ten kind of way. Wisconsin scores a grand total of 17 points against Miami of Ohio. Also, Minnesota scores a grand total of 23 points against Buffalo. And I think Rutgers scored like 17 points against Ohio or something. No, 34-31. They were in a barn burner against Ohio in the MAC. So, Big Ten went hog wild against the MAC last night. I guess that's the other piece that we could talk about.
Missouri, they played Central Arkansas. It doesn't mean anything, obviously. Missouri does have an interesting 1-2 punch on offense. The Penn State transfer, Bo Prabella, looked really good. It's against Central Arkansas. But Ahmad Hardy, the running back from UL Monroe that was really good against Texas, a freshman that transferred up to Missouri, Eli might have done enough getting those two guys to make the most of his schedule this year. Because they have a pretty good schedule too. Them and Ole Miss have really good schedules for me in the SEC. That's not from an athletic. Prabula can move a little bit, and then Ahmad Hardy's probably a next level running back. They're going to be an interesting team this year. Now Central Arkansas is terrible. I get it, but I think they might have done enough to have the ability to score enough points to beat some people this year when it comes down to it.
They could, Jerry, but isn't Central Arkansas the team
terrible.
That gave up? They gave up 60 to Jackson Arnold last year.
Right, no doubt. That's why I said they're terrible. But just looking at the Bo Prabula, whatever his name is, he moves really well.
Yeah, he does.
He's got some athleticism to him. And Ahmad Hardy being a next level running back, they may have enough to score enough points. Like last year at times, I didn't even with the stud receiver that went to the NFL, I watched them and said they can't score enough to win some of these games. I wonder if they'll be able to this year. But you're right, Central Arkansas is a bad team.
All right, let's see here. More super chats this morning. Cade Stewart, thank you for yours. He says, good morning, OTF. All the offseason and preseason talk has been awesome, but tomorrow we find out what this team is all about. Defense shows how dominant they are. Texas, 24-10. Hook 'em.
I think somebody's going to have to score 24 points to win this game. Y'all know I'm on the record 24-20. So I think somebody's going to have to score 3 touchdowns. If Texas holds up, and I don't care if Julian Stanton's making his first career start or not, he's still a talented kid, and he's got really good players around him. If Texas leaves Columbus Saturday about 5 p.m. and Ohio State scored 10 points, I don't care if Texas wins 13-10. If Ohio State only scores 10 points, that's an unbelievably great sign for this season for Texas.
We need them to revert to their 2023 or 2024 Cotton Bowl appearance where they were just muddled on offense because they were riddled by injuries and or opt-outs for the NFL. That's what we need.
Yeah.
If that happens and this Texas defense dominates, all bets are off on this season, because I do think that this could be a bellwether game for parts of the season. I mean, if Texas wins this game, however they win it, my season-long prediction of 10-2 goes out the window really quick, right out of the gate. And I think that, you could be looking at a Texas team that may be favored in every game the rest of the way, no matter where they play or who they play. Because I'm telling you right now, even with Julian Sand being the new, this will be as talented a team as Texas plays all year. Yeah. Now, certain teams may have better pieces of the puzzle, like Florida with its quarterback if he's healthy, and the receiver group and the running back and their offense. They may be better. And Georgia, just on defense, may have those guys. But all bets are off if Texas wins this game as far as what the opportunity is here for the Longhorns. I think it's going to be interesting, and I'm ready for it.
All right, let's see here. We got a super chat from Bald Father Betts. And Bald Father, thank you. It says, on the way to Columbus, just hit Huntsville.
Nice.
So safe travels to you.
Huntsville's Huntsville's in Alabama's, or are you talking about Texas? I hope you're talking about Alabama. Huntsville, Alabama is a kind of a hidden, pretty place. A couple of lakes there, by the way. For those that haven't been to Huntsville, and anybody that lives there, I want to give you a little credit. I think Huntsville's kind of it's a pretty place around that lake. I can't remember the lake.
It's nestled between Birmingham and Nashville.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting place. Big NASA headquarters there.
Yes.
All right, Woodshed boy. Jerry Hamilton. I
Oh,
would like
boy.
to make a public service announcement. Without a solid running game, a stacked O-line, and an extremely clean pocket, Woodshed U.
Woodshed boy is familiar. Woodshed U. Yes. Woodshed boy, Woodshed U is back this season. We're glad to have you back, man. I do think this. The run game is essential for both teams tomorrow to give their quarterbacks the best chance to be successful. I do. That's the one thing I do believe, and I agree with Ryan Day on his take on this game from an Ohio State perspective. If they don't run the ball effectively, he knows that Texas pass rush has a chance to truly affect his quarterback. And that's without saying it, that's what he's saying. And then stop the run. He knows his keys to victory in this game tomorrow, which is to be the most physical team. And if Ohio State's the most physical team, then that's going to allow Sayin to have the best game he can have as a first-time starting quarterback. The flip side, Texas absolutely needs to run the football because the situation I don't think Sark wants to get into tomorrow, as aggressive as he is, Bobby, is Arch Manning attempting 35 to 40 passes because that means he's playing from behind, and it's probably not going according to script.
Okay, guys, I think our second special guest of the day is here, and it's a very special guest indeed. I'm going to bring him in. Texas Governor Greg Abbott joining us this morning. Governor Abbott, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. Hook 'em horns, guys.
Governor Abbott, you've been with us the last two seasons before they got started. Texas ends up in the national semifinals in each of those, and so we thought the third time's the charm. We're going for the national championship this year.
Because I must be the lucky charm. we're going to find out in about 24 hours. I'll be there at the game. I'm looking forward to it.
Governor Abbott, you are a guy that has followed Longhorns for a long time, Texas grad. I got to ask you, the debut tomorrow really is the debut of a new era for University of Texas football with Arch Manning being trotting out there, being the starting quarterback for the University of Texas. You think folks are ready for that?
Oh, man, they're so excited. They're pumped, looking forward to it. Everyone is interested in Arch. But let me say something a little bit different than what you said. It's a new quarterback. We have Sark. And think of what Sark has done from going to 5-7 to where we are now. Think about Sark and what he's able to do on the road. He has some mojo. As it concerns getting this team ready and hyped. I was in the tunnel when UT came out in the Michigan game last year. They were so hyped. They were ready to go. And I think Sark is going to have them pumped again this year. It is a new quarterback, and it's the Manning era. But there's so much else that goes into this team. Not just on the offense and defense, all that kind of stuff. It's the mentality, it's the thought process, and it's Sark who delivers that.
Hey, Governor, I wanted to ask you this: the vibe in Austin, the energy around Austin this season. Do you see a difference? Feel a difference than even in the past couple of years in the Sark era? It feels like it to me, but you're there on a day-to-day basis.
It's 100% different. Let's go back before Sark arrived. There was, heads hanging down, shoulders down. People were not feeling good about the team, and that in Texas that just affects your daily life. And then when Sark was able to come in, he had to prove that people could trust and believe in him. And then after the 5-7 season, he was able to show that he really was the guy. He really was able to deliver. It made people so excited. You've seen the way things are the past 2 years, and my only concern is people being overhyped about it. We got to just as fans of it understand there are ebbs and flows. But I think I think we know we have something very, very special, and it's not just for 1 year. It's going to be for a long time.
Governor Abbott, I got to ask you and give you a little bit of a hat tip, because it's my understanding that you appoint the Board of Regents at the University of Texas, and obviously it's your alma mater, so you have a very strong connection there. Kevin Eltife, the chair of the Board of Regents, has done a tremendous job. You guys, I know you appointed him, but all in all, I mean, whether it's been the addition of Stephen F. Austin to the UT system or the new medical school there in Austin, the Dell Medical School, how do you go about hiring or tabbing someone like Kevin to run the university? And it just feels like, and we use the term alignment quite a bit these days at Texas. It feels, whether it's Mr. Eltife or Chris Del Conte, or even the fan base getting behind it, it feels like that term alignment is coming through right now.
Yeah, everyone talks about the alignment, and it's more prolific at it seems like at the UT system than any other university system that I've seen around the country. And it kind of, in a way, is the same as the concept of bringing in Sark. When I brought in Eltife and put him on the Board of Regents and made him the chair of the Board of Regents and assembled around him other members of the Board of Regents who were fully aligned with what we wanted to achieve both on and off the field. I could talk at length about everything going on at the university that doesn't have anything to do with football, but definitely everybody on the Board of Regents, they wanted alignment. It was Eltife who led the effort to make sure that we were going to bring in someone like Sark, and they knew the importance to the university, to the system, to make sure that we had that we returned to our status of where we should be on the football field, and the rest speaks for itself. But to more specifically answer your question, I look for people, whether it be at the UT system or the other systems where I appoint regents, I look for people who are graduates of that system, who are enthusiastic about the system. And there's one thing about being a graduate. There's another thing about being a rabid graduate who just loves the university, who goes to work every single day as a regent to make sure that they are going to put that university on a pathway to excel, again, both on and off the field. And both Kevin Eltife, who's the chair of it, as well as the others, they're so committed to the system. They've achieved so much and positioned the University of Texas at Austin, I think, in a better position than that school has been, both in the classroom as well as on the football field, than what it's been maybe since I was there when Earl was there.
Well, that was a pretty good year as well. Governor Abbott, we appreciate your time very much. We thank you. I know you got a tight schedule. You got to get up here to Columbus. I'm already here right next to a Buckeye Stadium, so I know you're a little jealous about that. But I got to ask you before we let you go, do you have a score prediction for us?
Got to get the score prediction.
Got to give it to you. And listen, I think it'll be a defensive game, a tough game. I'm going to go 17-13 Hook 'em Horns.
Wow.
Woo! Defensive game. There you go. Thank you, Mr. Abbott. We appreciate you, and hopefully we see you this weekend, man.
I'll see you there. Take care.
Right. Hook 'em.
Thank you.
All right.
That's fun. That's always fun. Third time's a charm. 2 college football semifinals. Time for maybe getting over the hump this year. And it starts here in Columbus, Ohio.
Hey, there was a question I wanted to go to if we got a second in the chat.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but before you do that, will you do me a huge favor, Jerry, and tell everyone about Hayes City Store?
Oh, I will definitely do that. Hayes City
Look at
Store.
the food on this thing.
This is one of my favorite spots now. That my buddy Jason Watts, who I grew up with down the street, lives in that area. He took me over to Hayes City Store a few years ago. I absolutely love it. There are very few restaurants that once you go to, you immediately know how special they really are. Hayes City Store is one of those places. It's scratch-made Texas comfort food. They've got their famous truck stop enchiladas, award-winning chicken fried steak, and homemade desserts. Boy, that sounds good and bad at the same time for us. All of it is absolutely delicious, all of it from scratch. They also have live music 6 nights a week, with 50 beer taps, ice-cold long necks, and tasty margaritas. There are 11 TVs alone in their ice house, perfect for game days. I watched a couple of games there a few years ago, and it was awesome. It was a great environment, great vibe, and they even have brunch served from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. every single Sunday. Hayes City Store is dog-friendly, very important, and they have a tree net for kids, not adults, kids. Join the folks out at Hayes City Store and bring your whole crew. For more information, check out the website at HayesCityStoreTX.com. Again, that's HayesCityStoreTX.com. Hayes City Store is uniquely Texas, and I'm telling you guys, it has a great vibe if you have been there. It's a fun place to hang out.
There we go. Good stuff. Thank you, Jerry. And Bobby, Mint Mobile, please, sir.
You know what doesn't belong in your epic summer plans? 63-degree weather in Columbus, Ohio. Now, getting burned by your old wireless bill. While you're planning beach trips, barbecues, and 3-day weekends for Texas football games, your wireless bill should be the last thing you're holding you back. That's why you can make the switch to Mint Mobile. It's the wireless plan I sent my son off to college with. With Mint, you can get the coverage and speed you're used to, but for way less money. And for a limited time, Mint Mobile is offering 3 months of unlimited premium wireless service for just $15 a month. So while your friends are sweating over data overages and surprise charges, you'll be chilling literally and financially. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get this new customer offer and your 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/on-Texas. That's mintmobile.com/on-Texas. Upfront payment of $45 is required. That's equivalent to the $15 a month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees are extra. See Mint Mobile for details. Again, mintmobile.com/on-Texas. I got to say this as we segue out of that to something else. Some Texas fans starting to trickle in. One just came up here and took a photo of the university and everything around. Kind of took a panorama. I mentioned the ESPN Game Day truck is over there. The university, I'm actually looking out onto it, if you can picture it, with the stadium behind me. The university is that way. It's a red brick university setting. So almost every building is this kind of deep red brick. It's nice architecture, generally speaking. There's some other cool stuff. The football facility, I believe, is over here to my right. Athletic facility, kind of a futuristic looking place. But Ohio State's a nice, big state university. We should have asked Greg Abbott if he had bet anything on this game with the governor of the state of Ohio. I should have asked him that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Let's see here. We got
John Mateer would know that answer. All right, go
ahead. That comment you were talking about, Jerry, I believe, or question, I believe.
Yeah.
Right here, Jason Horn for Life says, has there ever been an opening weekend with this many games?
There has never been 3 top 10 games, top 10 matchups in opening weekend in the history of college football per Fox Sports. They put out a tweet on that earlier in the week. Obviously, these are truly impactful games on the season. And the reason is you just lose your margin for error. I mean, if the LSU, now, if you're Clemson, you still have a favorable ACC schedule. But even if you lose to LSU, your margin for error, unless you win your conference championship game, is down to 1. Miami, Notre Dame, same thing. I mean, you lose, and that margin for error is down to 1. If you get to 9-3, you got to be hoping. You're going to need things to fall your way on some level, some way or the other. Same with Texas, Ohio State. So these are 3 truly true. And I know the ratings will be great, and it'll be talked about from the quarterback matchup of young quarterbacks, or the Arch Manning game, Julian Sain making his first start. Then, hey, are these the 2 guys that are going to unseat Arch as a Heisman frontrunner after Saturday? Cade Klubnik and Garrett Nussmeier. Then there's Marcus Freeman versus Mario Cristobal. Is Cristobal going to get over the hump this year? I know all the talking points, but these are massive games because 3 teams are going to lose a lot of their margin for error this weekend. And that brings a different level of pressure for all 3 teams that walk out of these games with an L. This is a really big weekend in college football, and it's big now from a rating standpoint, but it's going to be looked back upon around week 10, week 11 is very big potentially for the 3 teams that take an L this weekend.
We got a super chat here from Lisa Vogel. Lisa, thank you so much. Says, Cowboys keep breaking my heart. I need a new team. Which NFL team has the most Longhorns on it? It was the Seahawks, I believe. But I don't know who it is
Broncos now. But did we know what Sam Ellinger ended up doing?
So, yes, he got cut. And then apparently, and again, I don't know if this is like agent speak or what, but apparently he had, offers to go elsewhere. But he decided that he wanted to stay in Denver. And so apparently Denver likes him, just not enough to be, on the 53 or whatever. So he's staying put in Denver.
I think PJ Locke made that roster. Jahdae Barron is up there as well. I think Calvin Anderson is now with the Steelers. There's quite a few. Is Brandon Jones now? Did he move to the Broncos as well? Am I wrong?
Did.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he did.
I think it may be Denver with the most Longhorns on it. By the way, Lisa is the mother of our own CJ Vogel. CJ will be joining us up here. He's getting on a flight from Austin. So if you guys are headed to Columbus today and see CJ on the flight, make sure you tell him hello. CJ and I, as well as Marcus Myers, Coach Brian Irwin, will be all out at Gresso's here in Columbus later today. If you happen to be in town, if you're not in town, by the way, make sure you check out what we're doing on the tailgate. We have a 3:00 show this afternoon from 3 to 4. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. Then we also have a full menu of things to do tomorrow. We start with the Saturday conversation. Jerry, Rod, and I are going to talk about what we think about this game, as well as a number of different games around college football. Then we have the live tailgate, followed by our Watch With Us. Aaron Hogan will be hosting that. Jerry, Bob Shipley, Coach Shipley, Jeff Howe, as well as Rod Babers will be there. And then we have the post-game show, myself, Rod Babers, and again, Brian Robeson, the former Longhorn, joining us for that as well tomorrow night.
Do you have that schedule? Do we have the graphic for that schedule so people can see that?
Yes, we do. Sorry, I was having to moderate a little bit in the chat, but there it is.
Yeah, so thanks to Tito's for being a new sponsor of On Texas Football this year, and all the great sponsors, South Point Dodge, Von Lane, Yingling Flight. But this is a rundown of our Saturday to start, obviously, until the Saturday conversations, Bobby said, the pregame. Watch With Us, which should be very entertaining Saturday, I'm guessing. I could see a number of teams, fans being jumping into this Watch With Us. We'll see if I'm hoping everybody jumps in. It'll be fun. Live post-game thread, then obviously we'll have content throughout the evening and on Sunday post-game. Ryan Nelson said, are you ready for some overreactions during the game? You mean my own or the fans?
Or
that
both.
could go either way, but yes, I can't wait. The Watch With Us, honestly, the Watch With Us has probably become my favorite thing that I do on this channel. I think it's just because it's so raw, the emotions in the chat, the emotions of Aaron Hogan, myself, whoever's on. It's so raw, it's so genuine. It's so much fun. I love the Watch With Us.
All you need in that Watch With Us is 1 3 and out, and get this bum out of here. There's no way this Arch Manning guy is going to be able to play at Texas.
Yeah.
It is immediate guttural reaction to college football in a way few see it.
Somebody asked us, is there any recruiting news? Look, Texas isn't really focused on recruiting this week. There'll be some kids start to come into games next week. Kavian Bryant, the 27 quarterback, scheduled to be in for the San Jose State game. So some of this stuff could change. We'll see. But September 20th is the first big recruiting weekend for Texas on the docket right now. And that's Derek Cooper's official visit. We'll see who else they may get on campus. I'm not talking 27s. I'm talking 26 kids here. That stuff will start to play out September 20th. And then into Texas on the road the whole month of October. So it'll be November, which lines up right before signing day. But recruiting from the Texas perspective, not really the primary focus this week. Doesn't mean they're not in contact with kids, but there's not the big push stuff with Texas staff isn't right now. And somebody's asked about Chris Henry Jr. I know what was said about Texas and Oregon still trying to recruit him. That would take staff changes at Ohio State for that to change, in my opinion. That one's I would put that one way on your back burner and say if something weird happens and Columbus, then revisit it. But that doesn't mean Texas and Oregon won't try to get him on campus for a game this year.
Speaking of recruiting, Jerry, Cade Stewart, thank you for your super chat. Says, are there any prospects that he can go watch tonight in the DF Dubs?
Ooh, let me look that up. Yeah, somebody brought that up. I did not. North Carolina and Lancaster played last night. Let me pull this schedule back up for you. There's some games up there. Let me get the exact location. By the way, Blake, tell everybody about the new high school football show.
Yes. So we later this morning, I don't have the exact time, but later this morning, our new high school show, The Field House, will be premiering with Coach Buchanan of Aledo, or formerly of Aledo, I guess I should say. Bob Shipley, he's been at Rotan, he's been at Capel, Burnett, Brownwood. I mean, lots of stops. He's on there. And then Carl Padilla of the Padilla Poll, which has been going since the late 90s. They're all three on there with me. We didn't have, obviously much to talk about game-wise, so I kind of picked their brains on rule changes and, challenges when it comes to coaching. And I thought it was a really interesting conversation, so looking forward to that and hope you all tune in out there.
Dallas, DFW area, the only Texas commit, Texas commits in action tonight if you want to see a Texas commit, and it's a little south. Cohen Brown, Waxahachie plays at Ennis, kind of a little rivalry game there at Ennis. Don Bosco Prep out of New Jersey plays at Melissa tonight at 7:30. That's Max Wright, obviously offensive tackle commitment there. Don Bosco Prep has some really good players. That's actually a good matchup for Max Wright. They got some lower D1, mid D1 defensive linemen in that game. So that's in your DFW area. If you're in the Houston area, Jermaine Bishop, they play Aldine Davis tonight, and I expect Jermaine Bishop to have a huge game. Chris Stewart, Shadow Creek, a lot of talent. They play Summer Creek tonight. If you're in the Austin area, Yaheem Riley plays Austin. They played last night, actually. They played another good game in DFW. If you just want to go see some really good high school football, you'll see a Texas commit. Mikey Bukowskis, the Texas punter commit. Prosper plays host to Austin Westlake. If you want to go see a really good football game, Prosper has about as good offensive line as you'll see in high school football in the state of Texas this year. 3 or 4 Power 4 commitments on that offensive line, some really talented players. I think they're opening up their new stadium tonight. People in Prosper may be able to let me know that LaPorte's new stadium is unbelievable if you want to go watch a high school football game and just get everything about how good some of these facilities can be. LaPorte's new stadium, I think, is tremendous.
Okay, let's see here. We got some more. MLH10, we appreciate you. It says, given the atmosphere and new QBs, are both teams deferring to the second half? Would you be surprised otherwise? Be safe, everybody. Traveling and hook 'em.
I would be surprised. I would be surprised if they don't defer, either team. And I do believe that that's part of the question. These are both teams that think that their defense should lead the way this year a little bit, given that they have new signal callers at quarterback. So I would definitely believe that both teams would defer. There's no reason not to, in my opinion. You're not trying to force anything early on offense either. I think it's a deferral, and they'll go from there. I want to add this. We were mentioning the Broncos, and Ted Apari brings this up. Malcolm Roach also on the Broncos as well, guys.
Okay, let's see. And then we have one from Luke. Thank you, Luke. He says, good morning. My first time checking out the show. Thanks for tuning in, Luke. We hope you continue to do so. He says, my question is, what is the plan for shutting down Jeremiah Smith?
I think a lot of I'm not sure it's going to be a lot of straight man on Jeremiah Smith, Bobby. I don't think zero. So anytime it's a man, it's going to be safety over the top with help. I think they'll mix in some zone. I think it's you got to mix in a lot with Julian Sand too. I know the focus is on Jeremiah Smith, but I really look more at Julian Sand. But I think you have to. One of the number one way to slow down Jeremiah Smith is to get after the quarterback and not let routes develop, not give him time to step into throws. But one thing I expect from Ohio State, they're not going to let one catch for 3 yards happen again. It's not even realistic. I think they're going to look to get the ball into his hands early, Bobby, in multiple ways. It could be end around. It could be jet sweep. They can move him around, just throw him a screen. They're not going to let him only touch the football once early in this game. He's the best player on the field for them. No chance.
Yeah, I think you're right. They've got to get him involved more earlier. Last year, I shouldn't say last year, last January when Texas played Ohio State, he had one reception for a total of 3 yards, kind of famously, right? Well, Texas used bracket coverage and played a safety over the top, as Jerry mentioned, in that game. I can't believe Texas is going to do much different unless Ohio State somehow forces them out of that. I will say, if you're playing a safety over the top of Jeremiah Smith, the runs that Jerry's talking about, those quick bubble screens, they're not going to work as well. So you can't force it. You can't force Jeremiah Smith. Ryan Day did not force it to Jeremiah Smith last year. They ended up winning the game. So if Texas elects to try to take, or at least limit, Jeremiah Smith in this game, look for the other guys to try to do work for the Buckeyes.
Okay, we got more super chats to get to this morning. But first, Bobby, I'm going to let you tell everyone how they can escape the insurance trap one last time.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been our sponsor for a couple of years now. BKCW Insurance helps folks get out of the insurance trap by providing you and your business with actual risk management consulting, not just price quoting. Operating out of its headquarters in Austin and owned by a UT grad, BKCW uses a 5-step process to identify your business's weak spots, design a plan, execute it, and monitor your situation throughout the year so that you can lower your insurance costs while effectively managing your company's risk. BKCW has already helped some of the most well-known construction companies, restaurant groups, breweries, nonprofits, school districts, etc. in Central Texas escape the insurance trap, and it all starts with a free, no strings attached risk assessment. Go to bkcw.com or send an email to info@bkcw.com to get started with a free risk assessment or claims on audit and escape the insurance trap. Again, 512-250-5055 or info@bkcw.com.
This is a perfect guy to bring in for our final thoughts on this coffee and football before it's game time. Rod,
there he is.
What's up, guys?
How you
Rod,
doing,
we had a great video on the script yesterday. For those that haven't watched it, Rod really broke down Sark's opening scripts. So let's just go with that, man. I mean, kind of what you said yesterday for the people. Sark's script, that's a big topic of conversation. What's that script going to be like against Ohio State?
Yeah, with Arch Manning, right? As the starting quarterback. I think it'll be one of the most innovative, creative scripts we've seen. I went and actually looked at the 3 big, powerhouse non-conference matchups Sarkis had, 2 Bama games and the Michigan game, trying to see what similarities and commonalities that existed between those scripts. The first 20, some people even say 40 plays. So I basically took the first 3 drives. And what I found was high early game, early down pass rate. You're averaging close to 50%, 56% early game, early down pass rate. So he's going to throw it a lot. He's going a lot of motions and shifts, probably 66%. Actually 67% if you round up is going to be pre-snap motion rate. Usually they're at 61%, but he increases that in his scripts when he's really deep in his bag. You're going to see a lot of empty formation. You got close to a third of your passing attempts in those scripts from both Bama games and Michigan games with empty formation or empty reloads. When you have empty backfield and you put somebody back into the backfield, they call that a reload. He loves that because it helps you isolate matchups, helps you hunt matchups that you like, and it clarifies things for the quarterback. So I think that's something you'll see a lot of. The screen game. Oh, let me give you the screen now. This is how much Sark loves the screen. In the Bama game in 2022, your first play was a tight end screen. 23 at Bama, your first 2 plays ended up being screens. And in 24 at Michigan, your third play, actually 4th play, because there was a penalty in there, ended up being a screen play too. So it was an incomplete pass, but he's going to throw a lot of screens, and he's going to throw them early. That's also one of the, I think, one of the key features in a Sark script. The deep ball. Let me give this last little nugget about the deep ball. Deep shots, 20 yards or more down the field. 22 Bama. You had 3 in the first 3 drives. So he was chunking that thing. He unleashed Quinn Ewers on Alabama. 23 at Alabama. You had that third drive. He came out, chunked it. Then they had a double pass. And then Xavier Worthy caught like a 44-yard touchdown pass. Those are 3 shots in a row he took there, basically. And in 24 at Michigan, third play of the game was Isaiah Bond hitch and go. So sorry. He's going to throw it deep. It basically says within the first 3 drives, you should see at least 2 deep shots on that script, like predetermined reads for Arch Manning. So I think, guys, we're going to see him unleash Arch, and it's going to be one of the best scripts we've seen from Sark. Remember, he hadn't even shaved at that Zoom availability. That's because he was coming up with that script, guys.
Yeah.
Ain't no time to shave. Ain't no time to shave.
Hey, Rod, here's the interesting thing. Are we going to see it under center with Arch?
Ooh, that's good. I think you will.
I think we are too.
Yeah,
we've heard too much about them working in practice under center.
Yep, I think you will. And I think we might even see under center bootleg, waggle action, possibly under center, old school play action, turn your back to the quarterback, get them a safety like Caleb Downs who are really aggressive, try to make them pay for their aggression a little bit. And then maybe one of those deep shots I'm talking about, guys, maybe under center, old school, boom. All right, over the top. So I'm with you. I think I'm going to go 4 under center snaps throughout the game, talking the whole game.
Oh, wow.
Which is that's a lot. That's a lot. Exactly. So I'm going to go like maybe 4 or something like that. That's as high as I'll go on under center snaps. For the
one of the things I'm interested in, Rod, is does he take a playbook or play out of the Philadelphia Eagles playbook and go the tush push a little bit more this year too? We haven't even talked about that much. Short yardage, because Arch Manning is the type of build. He has the type of build that can do that kind of running. May be interested in short yardage to see if they even go a little bit more under center.
That's true. The quarterback sneak is the most successful short yardage play in at least in NFL history from the numbers that I've seen. Like nothing comes close to working as well as the quarterback sneak. So to your point, Bob, you're going to have the quarterback sneak in there. We've already seen it. Will he add the element of the tush push to it? That's an interesting little nugget. I've never thought about that, Bobby. And with the struggles that Texas had in short yardage over 2 years now, multiple years, I wouldn't be surprised to see him pull out something. The only thing I worry about is he's got the build for it, but man, Jalen Hurts is so unique. And the armor that he has for a quarterback. I think there's a reason the NFL hasn't been able to replicate it either, because he is so special in terms of the build of a quarterback.
Definitely something different to think about. I also bring it up because as we reported on Wednesday, we think Connor Stroh may be the new left guard at the University of Texas in this game.
Wow.
He is a 350-pound behemoth. And so they may try to use that a little bit in short yardage game on Saturday. Something that, Blake, Rod, do you mind sticking around and answering some questions with us here?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Super chats? Blake, take it away.
Yeah, let's see here. CDoc80, thank you for the super chat, says it's time to finally field a top 10 offense to match the defense this season. Hook 'em.
Yeah, that's crazy. We actually did a video about that this offseason, right? Is it time for Sark to have an elite offense at Texas? Strangely enough, he's had top 25 offenses, but the defense actually took the leap to being elite before the Texas offense did. And Sark is known for being, an offensive guru and being one of the more innovative, modern offensive minds in football at any level. I think you could, and this is why. Because there are a few things that Arch is going to provide that Quinn couldn't. The number one cheat code I always say in football right now is a scramble. The quarterbacks in the NFL averaging more yards per rush via scramble than they average yards per pass right now. That's because you have so many athletic quarterbacks. Sark had not really had that cheat code or access to it under Quinn. He ran a little bit, but Arch is going to be a much more effective scrambler. Number 2, the deep ball. Sark loves the deep ball. I mean, think about the last true road game Texas lost. Why did they really lose that game against Oklahoma State? Maybe he got addicted to that deep ball. He was chunking it. He had like 14 overthrows in that game because Oklahoma State kept baiting him. Like, come on, throw this. It was sitting on routes. Throw the deep ball. He thought he had it open, and it wasn't. But he's going to have a more effective deep ball. Arch, 21% deep ball rate last year, passes 20-plus yards. Guys, that was top 5 in all the Power 4 quarterbacks. that rate of deep ball. So he's going to chunk it. And when I've gone to practice and I've had the privilege of doing it, he's still chunking it deep at practice. That's in his nature. So I think that'll also help the offense, which was the most explosive offense in the country last year. It'll help it get some more easy chunk yardage plays. And then critical areas, red zone. I even heard Matt Brown talking about it. Said, I didn't have any red zone issues because we had quarterbacks that could run. VY could run the red zone. Cole could run the red zone. Ain't no red zone issues when you got a +1 in the run game that the defense has to account for. I think that's going to help them in the red zone. I went back and looked at the touchdown percentage of Arch in the red zone in those 2 starts and a little time that he got. Guys, they were close to 80% touchdown rate. Last year, Sark was bragging about 60-something% touchdown rate. They were like an 80% touchdown rate. That would led the country. Third, I also looked at third down conversions, guys. 50+% third and long conversion rate with Arch in those 2 starts. Texas third and long conversion rate, one of the best in the country, was around 31%. So I know the competition has to be included in the conversation, but if they improve in all those critical areas and Jerry take care of the ball better, because last year they were one of the worst teams in college football at taking care of the football, I think you could take that league to elite.
Yeah, here's the thing I would say about top 10 offense, and I agree. Texas, if you take away the G5 teams, I just looked at this while you were talking, Rod. Texas was top 10 in yards per game of the Power 4 teams last year. So yards per game, they were top 10. Points, they were not. It goes to red zone.
Good point.
So yards per game, driving the field. Texas was a top 10 Power 4 offense last year. They came in 10th on the dot in yards per game. Points per game, they were not. So it all comes down the red zone this year. You're already a top 10 mover of the football. You're not a top 10 scorer of the football.
Boom. Great point. Love it.
We have a couple of prediction super chats. I'm going to group those together real quick, fellas. Woodshed Boy says Jerry Hamilton, Texas, by 3 touchdowns through college. And then Longhorn Frenzy, thank you for yours. We appreciate you. He says 185,000 subs. OTF will hit 1 million by December. Keep up the good work, fellas. Texas 27, Ohio State 17.
I like that score.
I could take a 10-point victory. I don't know about you guys. That'd be pretty strong. People
are predicting double digit win here. I mean, I've talked to several folks predicting Texas by double digits, and didn't one of the lines in Vegas swing? And now it's a
I was gonna say, Rod, was it Woodshed Boy who's trying to put?
Woodshed Boy came in with a whale bet that split the line.
$550K yesterday went on the Longhorns on the money line and flipped a book in Vegas to favor the Longhorns by a point. Look, I mean, I don't know where we're going to end up on this game from a score prediction, or not just it's just so hard when you sit back and look at this game and think of all the good players Texas has, think of all the good players Ohio State has, the fact that it's in Columbus. I feel like, I mean, I said this earlier, I think it's going to be a heavyweight fight. That's just the sense I get with 2 new quarterbacks on the stage. I think it's going to be a heavyweight fight, man.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, come down to the fourth quarter. We get to see the clutch gene from Arch.
Yes, that's the big
thing. Yeah,
Arch, that's true. Good point. Go say it. Arch.
Yep.
Speaking of Arch, Mayo Corn Dog, thank you for your super chat. Arch brings a similar fire and swagger that VY had.
He definitely has a swagger.
Yep.
Rod, this is perfect for you.
Yeah.
Let me say this. Rod, this is perfect for Rod because he's played with quarterbacks that have that kind of it factor. It feels like the team plays for Arch when he's in there a little bit. Do you agree with that? And do you think that Arch has that kind of confidence, I guess?
I do. And I think it's interesting, team, attitude reflects leadership. And I talked about this with Marcus actually last night. I remember big games for us at Texas, and we were a great team. We won 11 games 2 years in a row. But some of those big games, you guys remember, we played tight. You know what I mean? We didn't play loose. We didn't play confident. Some of them Oklahoma games, we tightened up down the stretch. Colorado Big 12 title game, we tightened up. And I remember watching them VY teams and some of those Colt teams, and when the fit hit the shan, if you will, those guys would play loose and confident, and you see them have swagger in those moments where they met adversity. And not that we didn't do that at times, because we won our fair share. No, we had an 11 game road win streak too when I was there. But I wish that we had played a little bit more loose in those situations. And I think it's because it comes down to some of the leadership. That includes myself, by the way. I'm including myself in that, and our quarterback. I think Sims was tremendously talented. Drafted was the 4th round in the NFL guy. I mean, got started games in the NFL. I do think of those big moments sometimes. He and I and all of us in leadership, we played tight. And I think Mac Brown learned later on too that if you let the team actually let them be themselves, then they're closer as a team, but they also are looser as a team in those big moments. And that's what when Mac started letting VY take ownership of the team and let it be a player-led team. Remember, in my years, Mac was trying to take a lot of control. He was trying to control a lot of things, the message and what players were available to media and all that kind of stuff. And I think he really relaxed and evolved as a coach and learned, no, if I let these guys be themselves, then they play looser. And in those big moments, they actually rise to the occasion instead of tightening up a little bit.
I want to say this. I think Jay made a really good comparison. This is where I was going to go from not a player standpoint, but from a leadership standpoint. And it's going to be different because Sam Ehlinger had to be a battering ram, but I see Sam and Arch very similar. And here's why I say that. Those guys grew up wanting to play for the University of Texas.
Yeah.
And there's something that comes with guys who grew up wanting to play for the University of Texas. And I think they're going to be – I think the VYs of the world are so rare. I think there's something that kind of goes with that with a Sam, Tim Tebow, in Florida. I see Arch more in that realm, honestly, but that's just me. I could be wrong. But those guys who grew up wanting to play for one university and end up at that university, that's just a little different for me. And that doesn't mean you're more boisterous or how you go about leading, but I do think there's a difference there for guys that grew up wanting to wear the jersey most of their life.
I agree. I think you're right about that. Yeah.
StockX, I didn't see a comment, but thank you for your super chat. If I see it, I'll throw it back up there. We got a couple more predictions, fellas. Player predictions, actually. Drew Lockhart, for example. Baxter injuries with the first touchdown of the season. Looking forward to watch with us. Let's go. Thank you, Drew. We appreciate that. I'd say that's a pretty safe pick on those two. And then Rocky P with the super chat. Good morning, OTF. Only one more sleep until we have live football. Best time of the year. I think Sark is going to attack Caleb Downs and force him not to be able to roam and just do what he wants.
Oh, that would be. He's seen Caleb Downs now. What's his 3rd time now? He's seen him 3 years in a row. He knows Caleb Downs really well. He's watched him evolve as a player. Attacking Caleb Downs, that is something. I don't know if I'd do that.
I'm going to ask
Rob,
y'all
what you said earlier, I think the way you attack Caleb Downs is through play action with Arch is how you're attacking. You're not attacking him. Hey, we're going to dial up this route against you necessarily. I think you attack him with play action because he is a hellacious downhill player.
Yeah, he's an aggressive player. Like
you don't attack him through a route. You attack him through play action.
Yep, I think you kind of go at him the way you did because Georgia was a fast flow, quick read defense. And remember in that second match of the SEC title game, there was some double moves. There were a lot of kind of, I think aggression beaters, if I want to call them that, right? They kind of force you to have to slow play things. You're like, whoa, if I'm too fast to that. Sark got the misdirection. He's almost those whip routes that he had DeAndre Moore doing things like that. So I think you're right about that with Caleb Downs. I would make him pay for his aggression.
All right, Bobby, we got a $50 super chat here from Lindy B. And Lynn, I'm going to let you address this one, Bobby, but Lindy B says, humbly request no more politicians.
So we do not talk politics on this show, famously, by the way.
Correct.
We do not do that and have never done it because I'm just not one of those guys that likes to mix the two any which way. I will say this, though. He has come on 2 years previously. In the 2 previous years, the Longhorns finished in the national semifinals. I'm hoping the third time's a charm. I also would say this: he is the governor of the state of Texas, and we're going to respect that position. Period. So I do not have politicians on. We don't. I mean, he is the only politician I think we've ever had on. My take on this is he's a UT grad, and he can speak for a lot of folks out there. His comment, by the way, on hiring Kevin Eltife, I thought, was very germane to how the University of Texas system runs. And so if you're a University of Texas fan, while you may not like one or the other side's politics, I completely understand that, by the way. I don't like how politics in this country's torn families apart, essentially, or people apart. I do think that he has some insight on how the sausage gets made at UT Austin, and maybe why it's tasting so good right now too, given Kevin Eltife and the alignment we talked about a little bit there.
Slick Rick wants to know, are we singing Bobby happy birthday tomorrow?
Whoa!
Only if there's a win, then it'll be happy. Otherwise, it's just going to be birthday.
Oh man, I didn't know. How old are you turning, Bobby?
Don't Rod. Rod, don't do it to me, bud.
A year old.
Age, as I tell all my friends, age is just a number.
There you go.
Age is just a number. Right. You are inside, baby.
Damn right.
Oh man. All right, we got let's see here. Brett Mayfield, Texas 47, Ohio State.
Yes,
3.
you are.
Am I too confident?
Yes.
All jokes aside, I feel good about it. Yeah.
Even Woodshed Boy thinks you're too confident.
Yeah, that's a little too much. And we will close with this one from Jerry's Jack Links. Baseball has a regular and postseason champ. Basketball has a regular and postseason champ. Why doesn't football? I make the argument that we won the SEC in our first year, says Jerry Jack Links.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Well, I think in the future, there's not going to be a postseason champ. It's only going to be the regular season champ. Where we're headed in this is cancellation of conference championship games. And with the new TV deals, you're going to make more money off having 2 play-in games instead of a championship game for your major conferences. That's where this is headed for the SEC and Big Ten. So soon there will just be in football a regular season champ, and that's who it's going to be.
Like that.
What year is that, Bobby? Is that going to happen, you think?
Not 26.
No.
Not 26.
It's coming, though.
Yeah.
All right, Bobby, before we get out of here, tell folks what they can expect later today. And then, of course, tomorrow. Well, we put up schedule before, but let's start with today.
Yeah, absolutely. Later today, you have your Field House, the inaugural episode of the high school football show. New addition to our folks here, Coach Tim Buchanan, former state-winning championship coach from Aledo, will be joining Blake, as well as Bob Shipley, a guy that you guys are all familiar with, obviously, long-term high school coach, as well as Carl Padilla, the creator of the Padilla Bowl since the 1990s. They're going to be talking high school football this week, as well as our live stream this afternoon, 3 o'clock. Please join us. Rod, myself, Jerry Hamilton be joining you. CJ Vogel will be out there with me as well at Gresso's Bar over in German Village area of Columbus, as well as Marcus Myers. Coach Brian Irwin's going to stop by too. So we're going to have a good time out there. And then also, I think that it's time, guys, that we have a little prediction show. We're going to have that a little later today and go through everybody's predictions. So that's the game plan for today. It is a little overcast here as we close out this show in Columbus. It started off hazy and foggy this morning. It then got really sunny, and now it's looking like a little rain may be coming in for showers. We'll see how it hangs out, but it's supposed to be clear and cool tomorrow, 65 degrees or so at kickoff.
Nice.
Okay, and I want to give a special thanks to BKCW today for sponsoring the show, along with Chubby's, Prize Picks, Mint Mobile, and of course, Hayes City Store. Thank you all for tuning in as well. Don't forget, you can also head on over to ontexasfootball.com. Promo code OTFOG, get you a full year, $39.95 for new subscribers only, however. OTFOG is the code for that. Well, hope you all have a phenomenal weekend this weekend. College football is back. Texas football is back. Everyone couldn't be more excited. So be sure to tune in all weekend long to On Texas Football right here on YouTube as well. And for Bobby Burton, Jerry Hamilton, and Rod Babers, I'm Blake Monroe.